speak in the vernacular of the peasantry.
Poor little kid. I hope she gets home all right.
Oh, Davy, do we have to?
Welcome to the Mr. Baseball Show. I am John Weeks, also known as Mr. Baseball, and along with my guest John Hopwood
And Mr. Peter Stoller.
and Mr. Peter Stoller, we're going to throw you some curveballs today. Let's get right down to it.
I'm ready.
The Red Sox finally got Martinez.
5 years, $110 million, so it's $22 million a year. Does he get an opt-out in year 3?
Yeah, he can.
It's an opt-out in after year 2 and year 3, I think.
Yes.
The contract is heavily front-loaded.
Yes.
I'm not sure why I understand that. You know, you would think you would be motivating him to opt out, but so that's what that is.
We have to do a little housekeeping here, folks. I'm going to shift my my beautiful physique down a little towards Mr. Baseball. Mr. Baseball, just
Try to contain your glee.
Mr. Baseball, just tell your folks for about a minute about your new venture, your new job, and your new restaurant.
Oh, yeah. The way we cook folded.
Well, that's not very positive.
Well, they deserve to be to fold. And it's been reopened as the North End Bistro, and we are tearing the world apart.
Yeah, I hear that you're getting a heavy crowd.
Yeah.
Or a big crowd.
Food is excellent. Plenty of parking.
Are you still the offer to buy me dinner?
Of course.
Oh, okay. I'm getting by on my pitiful pension from the whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
Hey, I just came from the VA, so. And I guess, Mr. Baseball, you have a fever right now, huh?
Oh, I had it last night, and I broke it.
You said that you've been hallucinating that, what did you say, that Giancarlo Stanton was going to hit 90 home runs this year?
No, I don't think I went that far.
What do you think, Peter?
Stanton? I have a feeling between him and Judge are going to team up for 100.
Well, yeah, 90 maybe. Hey, can we get the background? I think it's C2. So, there's the picture. There you are, Peter. You're there with the great Casey Stengel. Who, do you know Casey Stengel is buried right around the corner from Paramahansa Yogananda? Did you know that?
Yeah, oh, really?
Yeah, I was visiting.
Yeah, that's an austere location.
No, it's a nice cemetery.
The thing is with Yogananda, he's probably still in the same shape he was the day he buried him. He was one of those incorruptible corpses. It was, so I don't know if Casey's just fared as well, but he's a good company there.
I told you, I was visiting because I go visit him. He's my guru. And then I saw Casey right around the corner. It's Glendale.
Yes.
Why he's not buried up in... Well, where is he from, Mr. Bass?
Glendale.
He's actually from Glendale?
Yes.
Holy smoke. I always think it was
Casey
the Bay.
Stengel was from Glendale?
Yes.
That's where Jocelyn, who's been on my other show, she teaches at Glendale Community College.
She does.
I think I was with her when we found
She
Casey.
does.
Hey, J.D. Martinez. J.D. Martinez.
Yes, the inevitable finally became evitable.
Picture D, please. Picture D. That's of Martinez. We're going to put up J. There he is. He's giving, he's like the Pope, blessing. He's yet to confront the Boston fans, but David Price said they're going to boo him. Go ahead, Peter.
Well, I think he's, I think he's going to, come pretty much as advertised. I think I was seeing that over the, it is the only other player over the last 4 seasons whose numbers are comparable to Mr. Martinez's is a guy named Mike Trout. So,
not saying
I think his, the biggest knock against him is he hasn't always been able to stay on the field. But,
right.
Assuming reasonable health, I think he's going to deliver.
Well, he played 120 games in 2016, 119 last year. Hey, can we have D, the stats? We have his stats here.
Oh.
Oh, I guess I loaded up the wrong one. Wouldn't that, well, you can see them pretty well.
Yeah.
He hit, he hit, in 2015 he hit 38 dingers with 102 RBI. Then he went down to 120 games, 22 dingers with 68 RBI. And then he came back with 45 and 104 and led the major leagues and dingers at bat. But of course, last year was like, we're still arguing with Mr. Baseball over whether there are new PEDs in the game. My Tom Massengale claims there are. We haven't had him on the show in a while.
I doubt it. They can't get away with it anymore.
No, they can't. They don't drug themselves, do they?
No.
They keep getting people in the Olympics though drugging themselves.
They get caught also.
Yes, let's go on to. We'll go on. That's another subject.
Okay.
I don't know, Peter. This is a guy. Does the baseball club have the opportunity to unceremoniously expletive delete can him after 2 years, or are they stuck with 5 years?
I don't know if it's a player option, a team option. I'm not sure. I think it's a player option.
It is.
And, and I don't think, I don't see any reason why they would, if it was a team option, why they would, cut bait with him after a couple of years, especially because the contract is so front-loaded. I think he's going to fit in fine, and, I was also noticing, just taking a look at FanGraphs.
FanGraphs?
And they're predicting that, the Sox offense should be third best in the major leagues, and they have the Yankees offense as sixth best. The thing is, Giancarlo Stanton, and, the top two guys of the Yankees are frightening. But,
wow,
Judge is
a
I
rookie.
think the Sox have a better lineup.
Judge is a rookie. We don't know what he's going to do. He had shoulder surgery, too. The baseball reference, which I think I always go to them, they project him at playing 100. They don't have having about 496 plate appearances. So he's not, as a DH, he's not going to play the full season.
Who's Judge?
No, we're talking about. I'm going back to Martinez.
Oh, Martinez.
We will look at Judge. So they're predicting that basically Martinez is only going to play 120 games.
And how many home runs?
31, 81 RBI, 128.
Oh, come on! Is this Baseball Reference?
Yeah, Baseball Reference, which I used to sponsor.
The forecast I saw him hitting 39 home runs, hitting around 300. And, I forget what the RBIs were, but, this guy is going to hit more
How do you know?
He said he's going to. I would, there's a little doubt in my mind. I mean, I think they're really underplaying it, what you just said.
He's 30 years old. That's when you're supposed to trade a ball player, according to Branch Rickey. And who was the guy who was the general manager of the 1965 Reds who traded Frank Robinson to the Orioles?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Is that that?
Yeah, who was
Milt
that? I don't know.
For Milt Pappas,
He was
yeah.
a good pitcher.
Yeah,
But he was But he was always trading people. He was a famous guy.
yeah.
that was
He
always
said he was an
trading.
old 30.
Yeah, and then he won the
Triple
Crown,
Crown.
MVP, took the Orioles to the World Series,
And won the
victory.
World Series.
Right. Then it took him to 3 more World Series in his Hall of Fame career. Okay, Aaron Judge, according to Baseball Reference, will hit 37 taters, drive in 86, and hit a lusty 272.
Geez, I guess the Baseball Reference is leaning back toward pitching dominance this year from the sounds of it. And, I suppose that, the teams are going to be better equipped to pitch to people like, Judge. Usually in a guy's, this would be his third year or his second year?
Second.
Second year. He only hit 20 home runs in the minors before he got to the Bronx and got
I
that
also
sweet
think,
juice.
last year he set a record for consecutive games with at least one K. His first half was
Tater?
definitely much stronger than the second half.
Wow, he was hitting it. Oh, jeez. He was, it was either all or nothing for him.
Oh, it was.
Strikeout or hit a tater. Mostly more strikeouts.
Yeah, he
Remember
hit.
there was that rough patch before they had that fight with the Detroit Tigers, remember?
Yeah.
And that just ignited that team.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have Giancarlo Stanton hitting lusty 264, 43 dingers, 104 RBI.
Yeah, I'm not. Was Stanton much for hitting for average? I'm not.
No, he never was.
Really aware.
No, he's like Martinez. I don't think they ever hit 300.
No, and Judge.
Martinez hit 300 about 5. Well, he hit it three times. So here we are.
Yeah,
Here I am making an ass of myself.
I think I alluded to that earlier. I see him hitting around 300 again, and let's face it, a right-handed hitter in Fenway Park, Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
I mean,
He's going to be
think,
what they need.
And he's also he's like he hits all fields too. He's not strictly a pull hitter.
Right.
Wait till he gets to
I think it's a
Fenway.
great pickup.
Yeah. Wait till he gets to Fenway, though.
Yeah.
You got that wall.
Oh, I know.
There's so many things you can do.
Oh, yeah. And watch Bird and Sanchez.
No, we're talking about the Red Sox now. You've talked about the
I
Yankees
think
all the
I
time.
think we
on
should
my show.
compare starting lineups at this point.
Let's see. They're still going to let Sanchez catch?
Oh, yeah.
He's the worst.
Sanchez is going to catch. It's going to be Bird at first base. I think they're starting rookies at like second and third, right? Like Torreyes and
Torreyes, I think, is
at third base,
Torres.
and Gregorius is a shortstop, right? And then the outfield is Brett Gardner. I think we've seen his act enough.
He's still there.
And Aaron Hicks in center. They're still looking for a place to hide the body of Jacoby Ellsbury. And
That was the worst
and then
signing
Judge and
ever.
Wright.
Well, that
I don't know. I think the Sox lineup compares quite well with that lineup.
Hey, you have Gary Sanchez hitting a lusty 31 dingers with 80 RBI. And, he's going to set new records for both pass balls and balls to the chin.
And not only that, with the new rules coming back on mound visits, he's gonna, he's probably gonna, take a lot of pitches right to the face because he has no idea what's coming.
Either a pass ball or a wild pitch.
I'm sure he worked on it this winter.
Sure he did.
Yeah.
And they got rid of his mentor, too.
Yeah, who was that?
Girardi.
Oh,
catcher.
Girardi, yeah.
Girardi. Yeah. Jesus, two rookie.
Not to mention the late great Yogi Berra, who was, was giving him his catching tips. But he's going to be lost out there. I mean,
Let's see what
he makes Bob Montgomery look like Johnny Bench.
Bob Montgomery was a decent backup. You're thinking of Mark Sullivan, Haywood Sullivan, whose son, who he kept on a roster for 5 years, and he never hit over 160. Yeah. Remember Mark Sullivan?
No, I'm thinking Bob Montgomery, who my father nicknamed Clang.
There was
the sound he made when the ball hit his mitt.
Jeez, I'm looking at the fielding. It's not pretty. No.
Who, for Sanchez?
Yeah. Well, he did field 987.
He'll be all right.
13 errors. They only gave him 13 errors? Jeez. That's the problem. all your scorers are local people. It's probably Mrs. Steinbrenner herself.
Well, do you think
should be
how many errors?
13. I saw 13 in one game.
What about pass balls?
Let's see.
Yeah, that's separate from errors, right? So
Right.
that's basically him picking up bunts and throwing it into the stands, you know. So he probably did that 13 times, just that, you know.
They don't have pass balls. A pass ball
No,
is
pass
an error.
balls is separate
No.
than errors.
No, it's not an error.
Well, somebody ought to look it up, but I'm not going to.
I'm not either.
Hey, can we get the background C3 with the revolving eye? Because, this is for predictions.
Oh, for predictions.
Yes. We want to hear, Peter, who's your pick to win the AL East, the AL pennant, and the World Series? You can throw in the National League picks if you want to.
AL East. Jeez.
Come on. I'm going with the Red
All right.
Sox.
All
I'm
right.
wearing the Red Sox shirt.
I am going to say the Sox.
Yes.
And I just suspect that, you're going to see some, a bounce back year from David Price.
17
and I think you're going to see, I think you're going to see like a guy like Judge maybe, fall into a little bit of a sophomore slump, I guess. And,
30
and I'm
minutes.
looking around the rest of that Yankees lineup, and it's just like, I'm just not seeing a whole lot. I think, the best all-around player might be Gregorius at this point, It's,
Mr. Baseball.
a rookie at second, a rookie at third. How much does Sabathia have left? Although he looked like he was emerging. He was having a second revival last year, but
He led the Yankees with wins.
I don't know. It's going to be close. I can't see more than 3 or 4 games separating them at the end. But I'll go with the Sox, and I'm sure the Yankees will be a wild card. The AL pennant.
It's got to be the Red Sox.
What about Houston?
Screw Houston.
They
I think the Astros are just flipping loaded. And, to toss Garrett Cole on top of what they already had.
right.
They're the best team in baseball, I think. It's hard to go against them. I would have said, I think Cleveland is due for a little bit of a fallback after last year. I think that
Fallback, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I was thinking you were one of they're finally going to win the World Series.
No, I think
Remember that?
What happened to them against the Yankees last year is probably, just put them in a psychological funk, which will probably, they still might have and they probably will have enough to win that division, but I don't think they're going to look as scary as they did coming out of last regular season. And so I'm going to go with Houston to win the American League, and National League. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Dodgers, I'd say.
Yeah, I guess the Dodgers is the safe pick. I expect the Cubs to be close.
Yeah.
But I'll say right now it will be a World Series repeat with the Astros and the Dodgers.
Interesting.
I'll go with the Red Sox and the Cubs because we've been waiting for that one since I met you. Because remember that was supposed to be the sign of Armageddon. That and Donald Trump becoming president. Neither one's happened yet. Well, I mean the Armageddon. I guess Donald Trump is president, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, that gabapentin is a powerful drug, isn't it, Mr. Baseball? What year is it, Peter?
What's that?
What year is it, Peter?
I think
It's
19.
2018, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Do you remember the halcyon days? Where were you in 1989? You weren't at. Had you just arrived at IAC then? He said, "You remember?
I
Remember your
started there
answer."
in 1990, but I was in San Francisco in 1989. You know, I was watching what was it, Game 3 of the series when it was the earthquake.
Yes.
And yeah, that was. Then I was at living in the East Bay then with someone else.
So
and
so I only told you the story about the time Kevin Mitchell came to our company cookout. Or were you there? But it might have been 1990.
Yeah.
Yes. When Kevin Mitchell, he had that 1 year, the MVP.
Yeah.
He beat. Will Clark should have got it, and I have the thing that I can put up there.
Yeah.
Wins above replacement.
They-
But 40 BBWA writers hit home runs, and you get the award.
Yeah.
Which cheated your guy, number 2 out of at least 2 MVPs. Jeter, the thief that sends you the best home run hitter and an MVP and $30 million. But we won't get into that, Peter. Jeez,
well,
Kevin Mitchell.
I don't have those numbers in front of me. I know Mitchell hit 47.
Hey, we'll get the
Yes.
stats.
That's a lot of dingers, man. And
let's
I
get.
recall him being like a real clutch hitter too. So
Hey.
I don't know. Will Clark was a great player.
Oh, it looks terrible. Yeah,
And again, I don't have
47.
the numbers in front of me, but.
He hit 291, 47, 125. And then let's get Clark. Clark hit a 333, 23, 111. But now let's see. I guess what comes after F? Is it G? G. That wins above replacement. Uh-oh. Did something happen?
It's on.
Lonnie Smith was the leading player that year with Atlanta, but nobody's going to give Atlanta anything. They're in the toilet. Clark, Barry Bonds, who we won't talk about Barry Bonds.
Hershiser.
Yeah, Mitchell came in a lusty 6 in wins above replacement. Clark was significantly better. And let's look at the MVP voting. That's F. Uh-oh. F.
That is F.
Oh, it can't be. Then,
It says MVP.
well, bust my buttons, Mr. Baseball. We have a,
Controversy?
yes. Mitchell came in first and Clark second. Let's not get into that.
No.
But we were talking wins above replacement. Oh, you know what we should have a talk about? Put something else up. Put C2, Peter's lovely face, in case his wife and children watch. I wouldn't let your wife and children watch the show myself, with all the body talk.
Oh yeah, yeah. My wife's seen it. She goes, it seems like when you start talking with Hop, you start like sounding like him. It's just like I think he has this like infectious like. Thing, and it kind of like affects my vocal cords somehow. But
all right, you Dago, you. We are gonna guess what, Peter? When Joe DiMaggio retired, he ranked number 3 amongst center fielders, wins above replacement, behind Ty Cobb and Tris Speaker. What does he rank now? And he retired in 1951.
If they kept the same.
So you're saying, I guess like, some scene heads have gone back through baseball
6.
history and looked at people's
Number 8.
stats and
8.
done wins above replacement going back to Candy Cummings.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well,
He's number 8.
What would DiMaggio's WAR be among just center fielders?
No, he is. He retired the number 3 center fielder. Now he's still ranks number 8. But you for far right. Willie Mays is the highest. He's just phenomenal what he ranks. But he's one of the highest ranking defensive players in history.
Well, he was.
Mostly your highest ranking defensive WAR are shortstops or second basemen. But he's up. You don't see many center fielders up in like the top 10.
No.
But you were right. He was because when I grew up, he was the best living player.
I was a kid and I didn't want him to be better than Mantle.
But
But he is.
We'll bring this up in another show. But you need to sign off because we have no ending today. So our shtick we'll have to wait till another day, Peter. But you have to sign off,
all
Mr.
right.
Baseball. Say adios.
Adios.
Dos vidania.
Cindy, pour me a beer. I'm heading over to Billy's.